Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we want to welcome everyone to today's very auspicious observance of Sri Nityananda Trayodasi, the most glorious appearance of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So we'll begin by singing one bhajan which glorifies the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So it's called Ishtadeva Vigyapati Hari Hari Bifali, prayer to one's beloved Lord, and this is composed by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. So I'll just read the translation. The translation goes as follows. O Lord Hari, I have spent my life uselessly, having obtained the human birth and having not worshipped Radha and Krishna, I have knowingly drunk poison. The treasure of divine love in Goloka Vrindavan has descended as the congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy names. Why did my attraction for that chanting never come about? Day and night my heart burns in the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not taken the means for relieving it. Excuse me. Lord Krishna, the son of the king of Braj, became the son of Sachi, Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram became Nitai. The holy name delivered all those souls who were lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagai and Madhai, are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Brishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottam Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? Hari Hari Bifale Janama Ganaino Hari Hari Bifale Janama Ganaino Hari Hari Bifale Janama Ganaino
Hari Bifale Janama Goaino
Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya
Janama Paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya
Manushya Janama Paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya
Manushya Janama Paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya
Janiya Shuniya Bisha Kaino
Janiya Shuniya Bisha Kaino
Janiya Shuniya Bisha Kaino
Janiya Shuniya Bisha Kaino
Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana
Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana
Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana
Golokera Premadhana Sankirtana
Ratina janmilokene ta
Ratina janmilokene ta
Ratina janmilokene ta
Ratina janmilokene ta
Samsara Vishanale Divanishi Hiya Jwale
Samsara Vishanale Divanishi Hiya Jwale
Juraite na koino pa
Juraite na koino upay
Juraite na koino pa
Juraite na koino upay
Brajendra Nandana je Sachi Suta Hoilo se
O Brajendra Nandana je Sachi Suta Oilo se
Balarama Hoilo ni ta
Balarama Hoilo Nita
Balarama Hoilo ni ta
Balaram Hoilo Nita
Dina hina jata chilo Hari name udharilo
Dina hina Jata chilo Hari name udharilo
Tara Shakshi Jagai Ma Da
Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai
Tara Shakshi Jagai Ma Da
Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai
Aha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Juta
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 Karuna Karo E Bharo
Karuna Koro He Varo
Karuna Karo E Bharo
Karuna Koro E Varo
Narottama Dasa Koi Natili Horangapa
Narottama Dasa Koi Natali Horangapai
Narottama Dasa Koi Natili Horangapa
Narottama Dasa Koi Natali Horangapai
Toma vina ke achyamara
Toma vina ke ache amara
Toma vine ke achyamara
Toma vine ke ache amara
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram.
Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram.
Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Ganayano. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Ganayano. Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue in with another bhajan. So this is, it's called Manaha Shiksha, Teachings to the Mind. And this is also sung by Srila Lochan Das Thakur. So we'd like to read the translation, and then Hari Kirtan will lead us in the chanting. So the translation goes as follows. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are a shelter where one will get the soothing moonlight, not only of one, but millions of moons. If the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna. If one actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Anyone who has not established his relationship with Nityananda Prabhu is understood to have spoiled his valuable human birth. Such a human being is actually an uncontrollable animal. Because he never uttered the holy name of Nityananda, he has become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless education and family tradition do to help him? Being maddened after false prestige and identification with the body, one is thinking, oh, what is this Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care. The result is that he is accepting something false to be truth. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. When he is merciful toward you, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Therefore, you should firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. The lotus feet of Nityananda are not illusion. They are a fact. One who engages in the transcendental loving service of Nityananda is also transcendental. Always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. This Narottam Das is very unhappy. Therefore, I am praying to Lord Nityananda to make me happy. My dear Lord, please keep me close to your lotus feet. Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
Nitai pada kamala Koti chandra sushitala Je chai jagata jurai
Nitai para kamala Koti chandra sushitala Je chai jagata jurai He no nitai vine bhai Radha Krishna paite nai Dridha kore darone te prai Radha Krishna paite nai Dridha kore daronita pai Se sambandha nahi jai Vrita jana gelotai Se pashu boro durachai Se sambandha nahi jai Vrita janma gelota Se pashu boro durachai Nitai na bolilo mukhe Majhilo samsar sukhe Vidya kure ki koribe ta Nitai na bolilo mukhe Majhilo samsar sukhe Vidya kule ki koribe ta Nitai pada kamala Koti chandra sushitala Je chaya jagata jurai Nitai pada kamala Koti chandra sushita Je chaya jagata jurai Ahankare mata hoya Nitai pada pasariya Asha tere satya kori vani Ahankare mata hoya Nitai pada pasariya Asha tere satya kori mani Nitayir koruna have Bhaje Radha Krishna pave Dharo nitai charana dukhani Nitya karuna have Braje Radha Krishna pave Dharo nitai charana dukhani tama bhoro duki nitai moro koro suki takoranga charaniya pasha
Nitai pada kamala Koti chandra sushitala Jechayai jagata jurai
nitai parakamala koti chandra sushitala jechai jagata
He no nitai bine bhai Radha Krishna paite nai Dredha kore daru nitai pai
Heno nitai bine bhai Radha Krishna paite na Dridha kore rayo nitai
Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Shri Shri Nityananda Ram
Ram ki jai. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So now we'll attempt to describe a little on the appearance, pastimes of Lord Nityananda. But before we do so, we can all together, we can do Mangalacharana prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadhishatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vande Anantadbhuta Saishwaryam Shri Nityanandamishwaram Yasya Chaya Tatswarupam Akshenapi Narupyate. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Sri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Ghaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Acharya. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna once again. So we want to welcome those of you who have just joined on our virtual platforms, or those of you who came in a little late. So today, as we all know, is the most glorious appearance of Lord Nityananda Mahaprabhu, the brother and very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So to begin, for the next few minutes, maybe the next 15-20 minutes or so, we'll hear a few verses, the pastimes of Chaitanya, of Lord Chaitanya, the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, and their associates are described in great detail in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is compiled by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So this morning we would like to read a few verses from the 5th chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, beginning from text 4. So after we read these verses, we will be hearing what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has written about the personality or the tattva, the form of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And then we'll hear the appearance pastime of Lord Nityananda, where he appeared and what were some of his childhood pastimes, and after his childhood, where he went, and so forth. So in essence, that will be our short presentation. Yes, chapter 5, text 4, Adi Leela. So the verse will be placed on screen. The verse and the translation. We can all read together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So a little about these verses. So at this point in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Kaviraj Goswami, he is saying that now I will explain or describe the glories of Lord Nityananda in the next 5 verses. So these are the next 5 verses which we are going to recite. So we can do together. Sarvavatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tanhara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balaram. The translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. Ekai Swarupadhunhe Bina Matrakaya Adya Kaya Vyuha Krishna Leela Sahaya. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Se Krishna Navadvipe Shri Chaitanya Chandra Se Balarama Sange Shri Nityananda. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. Sankarshana Karana Toyashayi Garbhodashayi Chapayo Abhidishayi Sheshascha Yasyamsha Kalasa Nitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamastu. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshan, constant remembrance. Sankarshan, Sheshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, an ocean of milk, are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. Shri Balarama Goshani Mula Sankarshana Pancharupadhari Karina Krishnera Sevana. Lord Balaram is the original Sankarshan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. So these are all verses composed by Srila Kaviraj Goswami, describing to us Lord Balaram is none different from Lord Krishna, and this Lord Krishna has appeared in Navadvip, accompanied by Lord Balaram, who is no other than Nityananda Prabhu. So, in explaining the tattva, the form of Lord Nityananda, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta has made some very significant points, which I will share with you. He says that Nityananda is the servant God because he serves Lord Gaurachandra, in the method of reverential servitude. Means out of reverence and out of great respect, he serves Lord Chaitanya in so many different ways. And he further mentions that, as we heard earlier, that Lord Balaram is Lord Nityananda is identical to Lord Balaram. They are non-different. And that Balaram is a direct manifestation of Krishna. So that we know that Balaram is a direct manifestation, is the first manifestation of Krishna. Similarly, Nityananda Prabhu is a direct manifestation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Balaram. So, it is said that we, the conditioned souls, are under the direction, all individual souls in this world are under the direction of Nityananda. And that is only possible unless one takes shelter of Lord Nityananda. If one takes shelter of Lord Nityananda, then he comes under the direct control or direct, Lord Nityananda directs his life. And we are accustomed to say that, we are going to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But we cannot do so without, it is said that without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we cannot approach or even think of serving Lord Chaitanya. In a similar way, when we say of serving Krishna, we cannot serve Krishna without the mercy of Srimati Radharani or without the mercy of Lord Balaram. So in other words, one receives service of Lord Chaitanya through the hands of Lord Nityananda. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also mentions a very important point. It is said that in Krishna Leela, Srimati Radharani is within the inner circle, the servants, within the devotees, the intimate devotees of Krishna. Srimati Radharani is the guru. Or in other words, she is the one who, engages all other devotees, or she tells what service you must engage towards Krishna. So similarly, they said that Lord Nityananda, within the circle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the one who directs. And someone becoming a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, someone becoming a servant of Krishna, Lord Nityananda is the one who, he recommends the devotee to Srimati Radharani, who further engages that or puts that devotee to serve in Krishna's pastime. And it is also mentioned that Lord Nityananda, he is Samashti Guru, meaning that he is a total sum of gurus. He is Guru Tattva. It means that every guru or teacher that is common in our line is a direct manifestation, representation of Lord Nityananda. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions that when Lord Nityananda appears, he does not appear by himself. Like we heard so many times, when Krishna appears, he appears with his entourage. Similarly, it is said that Lord Nityananda, when he appears in this world, in this material world, his inseparable constituents, meaning his associates from the spiritual world, also appears with him. And it is said that they sometimes manifest their function in this lower place in a visible form on the errands of Nityananda, meaning the errands of Nityananda, that they are involved in directly executing the orders of Nityananda Prabhu. So then we don't have to look very far. We can see very clearly in our line, in our disciplic succession, in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, we can see that all our, beginning from our own spiritual master, going up the chain of disciplic succession, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, etc., that they are involved in directly executing the orders of Nityananda Prabhu, or they are following in that mood of wanting to spread the Sankirtan movement. There is no difference between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and this is what Kaviraj Goswami mentions, as there is no difference between Balaram and Krishna, no difference between Chaitanya and Nityananda. Also, it is said that as one will relish the pastimes of Chaitanya more than Krishna's pastime, similarly one relishes the pastimes of Lord Nityananda more compared to Lord Balaram. You see, in Krishna pastimes, Krishna is performing many wonderful activities, but he's performing some killing demons with weapons and fighting with someone, wrestling with the demons. Similarly, Balaram has his plow and he's executing so many wonderful activities. But surprisingly, in Gaura, Nityananda, Leela, they're performing sweeter pastimes, and these pastimes, no weapons are being used, especially when it comes to Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is said to be Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Rai, which means that he is such a person that never gets angry. So now you might think that Lord Balaram, he got angry at so many different instances, in the Dwarpa Yoga. But in Kali Yoga, Nityananda is coming that he said that he has no anger. So now we'll hear a little of where Lord Nityananda appeared and what his appearance was like and some of his childhood pastimes. So it is said that there is this one place, it's called Eka Chakra, and this is in a district of Radhadesh, which is situated in West Bengal, India. So this place, I'll give a little background of Eka Chakra. Eka, the syllable Eka means one, and Chakra means a wheel. So it goes back way back in the Mahabharata, over 5,000 years ago. You all will remember the pastime, that incident in the war when Krishna, he picked up the wheel of Arjuna's chariot and was charging towards Bhishma Dev. So that pastime, in fact, he was charging towards Bhishma Dev, but he did not release the chariot wheel. Arjuna stopped him. Later on, as Bhishma Dev begins to offer prayers glorifying Krishna, it is said that Krishna became pacified. His anger went away, and he released this chakra wheel, the chariot wheel. So this wheel ended up all the way. So that is in Kurukshetra this occurred. And this wheel, when he released it, it got all the way to this place in Bengal. And that is how this village became named as Eka Chakra. And it is said that before the appearance of Nityananda Prabhu, this place was experiencing a lot of difficulties. Like there was drought, there was famine. The people were having a hard time to grow the crops. The village area, and a lot of farming was done there. The crops were not growing. So many hardships were there. But later on, in the year 1473, Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared in Eka Chakra. And just a week ago, we observed Srila Advaita Acharya appearance. He appeared in the year 1434. And like about 10 to 13 years later, in 1486, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So it was on this day, this auspicious day, being the 13th day of the waxing moon, Srila Nityananda Prabhu appeared during this time in that village, Eka Chakra. His parents, his father being Hadai Pandit, a very sincere Brahmana, and his mother, Padmavati Devi. Shri Nityananda Ram ki jai. Shri Nityananda Prabhu most glorious appearance ki jai. So it is said that he was the eldest son of Hadai Pandit. So now I would like to share a little that in Eka Chakra, there are a lot of pastime places of Nitai. He spent about 12 years there, and he performed many wonderful childhood pastimes. So his birthplace, if you visit Ekachakra, even up to today, his birthplace is there. And there is a little white mandir. It is called Garbha Vasa or Sutika Mandir. So that marks, as you can see in the picture there, that white mandir, that is the exact spot where Lord Nityananda appeared. And in that mandir, there is a deity form of Nityananda Prabhu. So very close to this mandir, which is like the Janmastan of Lord Nityananda, his birthplace, there is a kund or a little pond. So that kund is called Nitai Kund, and it is said that this is it here, Nitai Kund. In this kund, his mother Padmavati would, wash the clothes of Nitai, his utensils. They will do all washing in this kund, and you can see the homes just across that kund. That is the home of Hadai Pandit. So these places are still being maintained as places of pilgrimage up to today. Over 500 years have passed, but these places are still existing in Ekachakra in India. So then there is a banyan tree that stands there as well. It's called Malatala. So this banyan tree is in the courtyard of Hadai Pandit's home. And it is very significant that it's still, so it's not a banyan tree, it's a banyan tree. And they said that this tree, there was one instance when under this tree, Hadai Pandit will go to chant his japa. That's why it is called Mala Tala, right? Tala means tree, and Mala means like your japa mala. So Hadai Pandit used to go there. Under that tree, he will chant his japa. And it is said that there was an instance, which we'll describe later, that when one sannyasi guest came to visit Hadai Pandit, and he would have requested Hadai Pandit to give his son in charity. Means to give Nitai in charity to him, so that he can have a servant to travel with him to places of pilgrimage. So when Hadai had heard this, that Nitai, he have to give over Nitai, and Nitai would have to leave very soon. He had left his bead bag there, under this tree out of anxiety. And many, many years later, I saw bead bags are there. I don't know, you can see some bead bags are there under the tree. Later on, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this place also, he left his garland. There's a flower garland that was left there. And garland also is called mala. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have left his garland when he visited Ekachakra. So in this Ekachakra, there is a main temple. And the main temple has deities of Lord Nityananda in the middle. And by his side, there is a deity of Lord Advaita Acharya. And there is Lord Chaitanya on the other side. So there are other places like Padmavati Kunda. So this is where Padmavati Devi used to take Nimai to bathe him, right? And there is also a place called Hantugada Tirtha. This is like another sacred pond. And at this pond, so this is the deity of Lord Nitai in this little mandir, this Surtika mandir where he appeared. And at this Hantugada Tirtha, Lord Nitai, he manifests, or he brought the sacred waters from all the holy rivers across the universe, the Ganges, Yamuna, and so forth. He brought these holy waters and placed it in this pond, and it is at that place also where he would perform this Dahida Chira festival, the chip rice yogurt festival. So these are some of the pastime places that exist even up to today in Ekachakra, and devotees usually go there on parikram, on pilgrimage visits. Now in this Ekachakra, many wonderful childhood pastimes are performed. It is said that from his appearance as a little child, he used to enact with his friends many wonderful pastimes of Krishna. So we know many of Krishna's pastimes. For instance, they will take roles as Mother Earth, approaching the devatas, praying for protection, and devatas approaching Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu will declare that soon he will appear in Mathura. They will even enact dramas of the pastimes of, Vasudeva getting married to Devaki, birth of Krishna in Kamsa's prison, the Putana pastime, the pastime of Sakatasura where Krishna broke the little cart, the hand cart, and so many other pastimes of Krishna's pastime, one after the other, he will enact with his many friends. And the villagers, the people there, including his parents, they used to wonder, how can this small child know so many of Krishna's pastimes, which is, full of so many details, and as if, the pastimes were being occurred again, that Krishna's pastimes were actually happening. He would even enact the pastime of Kaliya, where the boys, they will take leaves from trees and they will make it into a snake, to be used as Kaliya. So in the afternoon, so they will go in the pasture grounds. It's a village area, a lot of rice fields and pasture grounds are there, and they will enact all these pastimes throughout the day. Later on in the evening, they will come back blowing buffalo horns. So they have buffaloes in that area also, where the residents, they take milk and they wear buffaloes. So he not only enacted Krishna's pastime, but he said that wonderfully he also would have enacted many various pastimes of the Lord's incarnations, such as Lord Vamana Dev. One day he took the form of Lord Vamana, carrying the water pot, approaching Bali Maharaj. He enacted pastimes of Parashuram, warning the Brahmanas, and also he enacted many wonderful pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, showing how Lord Ramachandra is there at the brim of the Indian Ocean, and how the monkeys, taking bricks and building a bridge. So the monkey soldiers. So there was this particular pastime from Ramayana that Lord Nityananda played with his friends. And this happened to be the pastime. We remember that Lord Nityananda is none different from Lord Balaram. Now Balaram appeared in Treta Yoga in the pastime of Lord Ramachandra as Lakshman. So Lord Nityananda is none different from Lakshman. And in the Ramayana, there was an instance where Ravana struck Lakshman with his weapon, this Shakti Shila weapon, and he fell unconscious. And then in the presence of Lord Ram and all the monkey soldiers, including Hanuman, they were there and pondering how can we again revive Lakshman. And they were advised that there's a particular herb on a particular mountain. If you bring that herb and you put it to his nostril, he'll inhale it and he'll become revived. So the whole scene went, but he fell unconscious. And it wasn't a drama anymore. His friends, were thinking that when he was actually dead, there was no life in his body. You imagine little Nitai is lying there on the ground, and his friends are becoming so worried that they're shaking him. Everything they're doing, he's not conscious, he's not breathing even. And then they call their parents, Bharai Pandit, Padmavati, all the villagers, they're coming and they're crying and they're wondering what happened to this boy all of a sudden. So before this pastime, Nitai had already instructed them what to do. He instructed the boys, when I fall unconscious, Hanuman will have to go and go to the mountains, bring the mountain, with the herbs, and I will someone will put it to me, Lord Ram will put it to my nostril, and that will revive me. But at that point, because the pastime appears so real to them, that the boys, they couldn't catch themselves. They forgot this advice. This was supposed to be the next step in the drama. After some time, somehow one of them remembered and reminded everyone that this is what has to happen next. So that whole scene went on, and then finally, when this particular herb was placed to his nostril, little Nimai arose from his unconscious state. Little Nitai, once again, and everyone became so happy. So these are some of the pastimes. There are many other wonderful pastimes which he enact in these places. All that we mentioned is Dahi Chida festival and so forth. But at the age of 13, he being 13 years old, something astonishing happened. So one day, a visiting sannyasi came to Hadai Pandit's home, and as customary, he will be welcomed and treated very nicely as a guest, a sannyasi, being fed nice prasad, given place to sit, to rest. And for the entire day, Hadai Pandit and his son Nitai, they were engaged in discussing and hearing pastimes of Krishna from this sannyasi. So the sannyasi spent the evening, he spent overnight. And next morning, when he was about to leave Ekachakra, it is normal also for the host to ask the guests that, what can I give you? Or what do you desire from me? I want to give you something before you leave. So this sannyasi, out of everything, this sannyasi said that, you see, I'm traveling to so many places and I'm really in need of an assistant, a servant. So my dear Brahmana, my dear Hadai Pandit, please, if you can please give your boy to me, Nitai, that will be very much appreciated. That will be the best. That is how you can fulfill my desire. Hadai Pandit, hearing this, he was awestruck. It is said that Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur described this scene, that Hadai Pandit, how he felt. He felt as when Dasarat in Ramayana got the news that Ram has to go to exile. He was so affectionate. He has so much love, so much care, so much affection for Lord Ramachandra. Similarly, Hadai Pandit was so attached, had so much affection for Nitai, that it was as if, you have a sucker tree, a banana tree, and it's been cut down with a sharp sword. That was the feeling. But nevertheless, Hadai Pandit put himself in Dasarat's shoe, and in that mood, he gave his son Nitai in charity to the sannyasi. So from then onwards, Nitai went on to travel to many places of pilgrimage, almost the entire of India. He visited places such as Vakreshwara, Vaidyanatha, Gaya, then to Kashi, which is the abode of Lord Shiva in the northern India. He went to Prayag in the months of January, February, where he will take holy dips. He came to Mathura. He came to the banks of the Yamuna. He took bath in Vishramagat. In Vrindavan, he visited all the 12 forests. He went to Gokula. So as he was visiting these places, like Gokula, he's remembering. He was feeling a great separation from his Lord. And he's actually remembering all of these pastimes that occurred there over 5,000 years ago, which is in Krishna's Leela. And he also went to Hastinapur, the place of the Pandavas. And he was reflecting on him having at one time, as Balaram, he was going about to drag the entire Hastinapur away with his plow. He went to Dwarka. Siddhapura is a place of Lord Kapila, Kurukshetra, Naimisharanya, where Shukadev Goswami related the Bhagavatam, Ayodhya, Haridwar, and South India. He also went to the ashram of Srila Vyasadeva. So, it is said that even up to today, there is the place, the hut of Srila Vyasadeva, and he personally resides there. So as he entered the hermitage of Srila Vyasadeva, immediately he was recognized as Lord Balaram, as Balaram. And because Srila Vyasadeva is not different from Krishna, he was recognized and welcomed as Balaram in his hermitage. So he also would have met Madhavendra Puri later on in his travels. So for many years he traveled, and finally he decided to come back to Vrindavan, Mathura, where he was there, performing pastimes. He was there. He lived there for some time. And so as we said, there was 13 years after when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Navadvip. So already Lord Nityananda had appeared, and he had already perform all these childhood Leelas, and he was traveling also during the time that Lord Chaitanya appeared and was performing his childhood pastimes of not weep. Lord Nityananda was traveling to all these places of pilgrimage, and he would have settled in Vrindavan for some time. And when he recognized that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is soon he is going to enact, or he's going to start the Sankirtan movement, he wanted to go to Navadvip. So because Chaitanya and Nityananda, they are non-different, they know everything about one another that was going on at that point in time. So these are some of the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, beginning from his appearance, his childhood growing up, and also him traveling before he would have come in contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I'll pause here, and I would like to read, in concluding this part, I would like to read that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have related something about Lord Nityananda in the Nityananda Charitamrita, which is compiled and put together by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is said to be the only disciple of Lord Nityananda. So this verse goes as follows. I'll just read the translation. Lord Chaitanya is speaking. He is saying that those who develop love, affection, and respect for Sri Nityananda develop love and affection for me. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is saying this. All the devatas headed by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma offer worship to Nityananda Swarupa. If somebody thinks ill of Sri Nityananda or blasphemes him, whoever he may be, still he must fall down. Even such a person professes to be a devotee of mine. He is not my devotee. It is as if Krishna is saying that who claims to be my devotee is not my devotee, but who claims to be the devotee of my devotee, he is my devotee. And it's a similar mood that we can see clearly that, without the mercy of Nityananda, Lord Nityananda, we cannot get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Nityananda Balarama Ki Jai. Most glorious appearance of Shri Nityananda Rama Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. We can do the bhajan Nityananda Ashtakam, and then we'll something. So we'll continue we'll attempt to chant there is a Ashtakam that glorifies the personality of Lord Nityananda, so which our Kirtan will lead us into. Yeah, we could do another bhajan afterward. We could do a Gauranga Boli. Do that now? Just. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So we're going to do another bhajan that glorifies Lord Nityananda. Akaroda Paramananda Nityananda Ram. The translation is: the noble Lord Nityananda is never angry, for he is the personification of supreme transcendental bliss. Devoid of any concept of false ego, Nitai wanders about the tongue, going from door to door in the residence of the most fallen and wretched souls. He freely distributes the gift of Harinam Mahamantra. He exclaims to whomever he sees, while holding straw between his teeth, "Please purchase me by worshipping Gaura Hari." So this is why it is said that it goes hand in hand. Like just now you heard that Lord Chaitanya is describing, you please Lord Nityananda, you please him. And here Nitai is saying, you purchase me by worshipping Gaura Hari. Placing grass or straw between one's teeth, it is described as taking the lowest position, most humblest position, like utter defeat, like taking complete defeat. Saying thus, Nityananda Prabhu rolls about the ground, appearing like a golden mountain, tumbling in the dust. Lochanadas Thakur says, whoever has not experienced the awakening of affection for such an avatar as this, that sinful person simply comes and goes uselessly in the cycle of repeated birth and death. Uselessly come and goes uselessly in the cycle of repeated birth and death. And they were trying to analyze those who came to Lord Nityananda, but then you make use of his mercy or his blessings. That's a different level. Akarura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akarura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Abhimana Sunya Nitai Nagari Vedai.
Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedai.
Akarura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akarura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Adama Patita Jive Rare Rare Giya.
Adama Patita Jive Dware Dware Giya.
Adama Patire Dware Dware Giya.
Adama Patita Jive Dware Dware Giya.
Harinama Mahamantra De Chiviya.
Harinama Mahamantra Dichinindilaya.
Akarura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akarura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akrura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Abhimana Sunya Nitai Nagari Veda.
Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vidha.
Jaririk Jarike Tare Dahe Dantatina Dore.
Dare de Kitare Kore Dante Trina Dore.
Jarike Tare Kohe Dantatina Dore.
Dare de Kitare Kohe Dante Trina Dore.
Amare Kiniyolo Bado Gora Hari.
Amare Kiniyalo Bolo Gaura Hari.
Amare Kiniyalo Bolo Gora Hari.
Amare Kiniyalo Bola Gaura Hari.
Akarura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akrura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akarura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akrura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Abhimana Sunya Nitai Nagari Veda.
Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Bhara.
Itu Bole Nityananda Bhumigare Jai.
Ito Boli Nityananda Bhumigare Jai.
Itu Bole Nityananda Bhumigare Jai.
Ito Boli Nityananda Bhumigare Jai.
Sunara Pavata Jino Dholu Tolita.
Sonara Parvata Jino Dulate Lota.
Akarora Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akrura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akarora Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Akrura Paramananda Nityananda Rai.
Abhimana Sunya Nitai Nagari Veda.
Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Bhira.
Inu Avatari Jai Ratina Jamila.
Eno Avatari Jat Ratina Janmila.
Inu Avatari Jai Ratina Jamilo.
Eno Avatari Jat Ratina Janmila.
Lochan Bole Se Papi Ilo Agilo.
Chan Bole Se Papi Elo Agilo.
Akarora Paramananda Nityananda Rai. Akarora Paramananda Nityananda Rai. Abhimana Sunya Nitai Nagabireva.
Shunya Nitai Nagare Vidha.
Abhimana Sunya Nitai Nagari Veda. Akarora Paramananda Nityananda Rai. Akarora Paramananda Nityananda Rai. Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai. Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana,
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 Nityananda Rama, Nityananda Rama,
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 Nityananda Rama, Gaura Hari,
Nityananda Rama, Gaura Hari,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Shri Nityananda Ram ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. So now we'll be hearing from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj, today Maharaj has been given glories of Lord Nityananda to the devotees in Chowpatty. It's an online program. So Har Kirtan will share with us a little of Maharaj's presentation, where he is speaking on the wonderful glories and pastimes of Nityananda Prabhu. So we can all chant in the meantime. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
The marketplace for the holy name. He's giving ecstatic love for Krishna, the crescendo of love of God, the ultimate realization of Vrindavan. Narottam Das Thakur, he sings that without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, one cannot enter into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So merciful. Lord Chaitanya described the nature of Nityananda's mercy, even if he goes into the filthiest place. Even if he goes to a place where there's prostitutes and liquor being served, please know he's only going in there to give love of God to all these people. We cannot imitate him. He is the supreme, ultimate reservoir of compassion. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes how Nityananda Prabhu and his associates, they organized the Nam Hata in such a way, just like a multi-level marketplace where the only currency to receive the ultimate treasure of all treasures, Prema Bhakti, the only currency was one's faith, was one's willingness to receive the holy names of Krishna from Nityananda Prabhu. In Surabhi Kunja, in Godam Vrip, he established the marketplace of the holy names. Krishna is not different than his names. If once Nityananda Prabhu's process was very simple. Whatever you've done in the past doesn't matter. Give up your sinful activities. Give up your offenses to Vaishnavas or others and chant the holy names in the mood of a servant, and you will achieve the highest perfection. That is the mercy of Lord Gauranga. Nityananda Prabhu never ever took credit for anything he did. He was simply delivering the message of Lord Chaitanya and bringing people to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya through Harinam Sankirtan. In Kardaha, Vasudha and Nityananda Prabhu, they gave birth to 2 children, Ganga, a daughter, and Birbhadra, a son. Birbhadra was an incarnation of Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. Kshirodakshayi Vishnu is the Lord within every heart. He's the Lord of every universe. And as Birbhadra, Kaviraj Goswami describes that he was like the root of the tree of Lord Nityananda's mercy. Supremely merciful. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he has given us the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He explains how it was possible. He was living in a little village, Jamatpur, in Bengal. There was a festival. And Miniketan Ramdas, one of the associates of Nityananda Prabhu, was there. And he was so playful, like a cowherd boy. But he was so powerful as an acharya. people would bow down to him because he was such a powerful acharya. And Meniketan and Ramdas would climb on their backs and slap them with his flute and tell them to chant the names of Hari. The pujari of the temple was not honoring, not paying proper attention to Meniketan or Ramdas. And ultimately, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami got in an argument with his own brother because his brother had faith in Lord Chaitanya but not Nityananda. And Kaviraj Goswami said, you cannot separate them. It's like the philosophy of half of a hen. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are one and the same person in two forms. But his brother had no respect for Nityananda Prabhu. And Meniketan Ramdas, seeing this, became very sad and he left. That night, Nityananda Prabhu appeared to Kaviraj Goswami in a dream. He was dressed as a beautiful cowherd boy. And Nityananda Prabhu, chanting the holy names of Lord Hari in a state of ecstatic love, holding a stick, he pointed toward Vrindavan and said to Krishnadas, Krishnadas, go to Vrindavan. There you will attain everything. The dream disappeared. As soon as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami woke up, he immediately left home forever to walk to Vrindavan. He gives all credit to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And while he was in Vrindavan living on the banks of Sri Radha Kund, he was hearing the pastimes and teachings of the Lord from Raghunath Das Goswami, who also was a recipient of Lord Nityananda's mercy. He's praying at the feet of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, who were also the recipients of the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Yes, it is by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu that we have Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And previous to this, the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Vrindavan Das Thakur was a disciple of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Vasudev Datta showed great mercy upon Vrindavan Das Thakur. And Nityananda Prabhu instructed him and empowered him to give the world the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Just as
Hare Krishna. So we'll go for the beautiful Artik, and it's very significant that Lord Nityananda Prabhu is gonna make his appearance very shortly. So we can all please stand and come forward to, to offer obeisances to the Lord. Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram. Jai Shri Paramakarnitai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai, Shri Nityananda Ram Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Nama Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavare Pashachari Shatarine Namaste Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gauranta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Nityananda Jaya Nityananda Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai
Jaya Nitai 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 Jaya Nitai Nitai
Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra
Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra
Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Raya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah
Hare Narayana Krishna Yaravaya Namah
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah
Yaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan
Giridhari Gopinath Marana Mohan
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita
Hare Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita
Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita
Shri Rup Shri Sanatana Bhattara Guna
Shri Rup Sanatana Bhattara Gunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasara Guna
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasara Gunath
Hare Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah
Hare Narayana Krishna Yadavaya Namah
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah
Yaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Jaya
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurari
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari.
Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari.
Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari.
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram.
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram. Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram.
Jaya Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai.
Jaya Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai. Nitai Nitai Jaya Nitai Nitai.
Jaya Avaduta Nitai Jaya Avaduta Nitai Jaya Avaduta Nitai Jaya Avaduta Nitai. Avaduta Nitai Jaya Avaduta Nitai Jaya Paramakkaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Paramakkaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Panchatattva. Panchatattva. Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai
Nitai
Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivachakachar Stotar Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Vibhiti Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivachakachar Stotar Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shridhar Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kundar Kunagir Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purushtam Shetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Shri Eka Chakra Dham Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution Ki Jai. Brihat Mridanga Ki Jai. Shri Paramakaritai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Ram Ki Jai. Most glorious appearance of Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Balaram Ki Jai. Samveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtachari Shatarini. Hare Krishna once again. So we want to first of all thank all the devotees who have joined in and who have been here. For those of you who would have joined virtually and also to be here with us in observing the most glorious Nityananda Trayodasi. So also we'll be having a program this evening, let's say from 6:30. So the program continues this evening and we hope that everyone will take advantage. So these days, these auspicious days are considered to be mothers of devotion. What that means is that, you know, you will, on other days you will chant, you will pray, you'll do kirtan, you will read, you will hear Krishna Katha, and you will get benefits, right? But on these days, when we say the mother of devotion, it means that you're getting much more benefits. You know, your benefits are being multiplied, spiritual benefits are being multiplied by many times on these days. So you don't want to waste a moment on such a glorious, such an auspicious day as today. So in that mood, we hope that for those devotees who are fasting, you can break your fast, and then we hope that you can join us for the evening program as well. We will continue with more kirtan, more bhajans, and also more pastimes, sweet pastimes of Lord Nitai, Lord Chaitanya. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki